Hello everyone, I am Sacrobolic, your envoy of hope, and welcome to What I Watched This Week, recorded on Saturday for the first time ever, because I finally realized it would be way easier to do that. So this week, I started off with Darling in the Franxx, which, let me just say, I haven't seen any of the videos, but a lot of the ones that I've seen the titles for talk about how bad Darling in the Franxx is. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, Darling in the Franxx is in fact bad. It is about... God, it's so stupid. There's these monsters called Klaxosaurs that come up from under the ground, and the only ways to fight them is to have teenagers pilot a mech together, which they pilot by handlebars on the girl's ass. It has to be a boy-girl pair. They tried a girl-girl pair. It doesn't work. And they fight the Klaxosaurs. And there's also this half Klaxosaur girl called 02 that the main character partners up with. Anyway, none of it really matters, because it's like, the weird part about Darling in the Franxx is that I originally thought it was like they were using the piloting the mechs, the FranXX as they're called, as like a metaphor for like sex. But then they just have sex later in the series, which kind of breaks down the idea that it's a metaphor for sex, because you can't have both the thing you're being metaphorical about and the actual thing. So I don't know what Darling in the Franxx is trying to say about that, but it is worth noting that only the young people pilot the FranXX, and the older people, it's kind of hinted they pilot the FranXX like they used to at one point, but it's also pretty well made clear that they never piloted the FranXX and that they're like immortals. It's real stupid. It's real stupid, but it could be a commentary about how no one has sex in Japan and everyone should be having more sex. I don't know. That might be what it's trying to say. I can't tell what it's trying to say. It's very confused. It also, for work by Studio Trigger, takes itself really seriously, and that is to its detriment, because, spoilers, at the end, the Klaxosaurs weren't the real threat, it was actually aliens, and the problem is when you spend the entire series fighting fucking monsters from under the ground, you can't just drop off at the end that there are aliens. Now, granted, they did a similar thing in, Kill la Kill, but the thing about Kill la Kill is at no point did it ever take itself seriously. Whereas Darling in the Franxx, it tried to be like a deep character drama, and it just failed at every level. And it wasn't aided by the fact that the key component of creating a compelling character drama is that I don't hate everyone, but I kind of hate everyone. So that didn't help them either. Like, most of the characters were obnoxious, and I was like, God, I just want all of you to die. But they didn't. Well, anyway, so Darling in the Franxx fucking sucked. Of course, the biggest problem was most of it was just boring. Anyway, after that, I watched Love to Lie Angle, which I barely paid any fucking attention to. It did not command any of my attention. It was mostly just Yuri fan service and tits in my face, which, is fine, but it also... basically this girl moves into, I think it's like a dorm or something for her school or college. I guess college is a school. And one of the, residents is, her old childhood friend. And they haven't seen each other for a while. But there's also this bustier other girl, who she constantly ends up in scandalous situations with. There's not a lot to talk about. I think... The problem with it is it wasn't even that funny. I liked it better than Darling in the Franxx, but that's not a high bar. I think I laughed once the whole show, maybe twice. Yeah. Anyway, I think that was all I watched this week. Yeah. So I've been Sacrobolic, your envoy of hope, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.